Hello everyone, Swezi here, back with another video. So today's video is a little bit different, right? As you can see from the title, today we're talking about money. You know, guys, you just can't be talking about CVs. This is how you're gonna apply for a job. This is how you can do this to your CV. No, you just can't be talking about CVs. We have another life aside from the CVs, right? So today I want us to talk about money. And what exactly about money do we want to talk about? So today I'll be talking about the mistakes that you have to avoid when you come to the UK, right? So for example, you're planning to come as a student, or maybe you've applied for a job using the tips from the CVs, the videos that we did for the CVs, right? Using those tips, you've been able to get a job in the UK, or let me just say in Europe. Now you're here in UK. How can you use your money? Now, let me just quickly say a few things before I get right into the 5 mistakes. Now, number one, I'm not a personal finance coach. You may want to find a personal finance coach if you're looking for financial advice. This is just me sharing my experience, my advice, or whatever I've been able to observe to do with money. Secondly, I'll just say this to say I understand we hold different views when it comes to money. So if you don't hold the same views as myself, that's okay. We can hold different views, and that's okay. And maybe this is not your video. You may want to go check another video that I did, or else maybe if you just don't resonate, it's just okay. So what I want to talk about is to do with the mistakes that you may want to avoid if you are just coming to the UK, if you are new, or maybe you have already been in UK. You may still want to avoid these mistakes, right? Because I mean, it's not for only those that are coming to the UK, but even if you have been here for a long time. Now, let me say one thing to say. I will mention some of the mistakes that I have made, and maybe you can learn from them. You see, one of the ways to learn is just learn from other people's mistakes instead of you doing the very same thing. So in this video, I just want to share some of the mistakes that I've made or what I've been able to observe. Now, the first mistake that you have to avoid when you come to the UK is instantly upgrading your lifestyle. I'll say it again, instantly upgrading your lifestyle. So the thing is, you have nothing to prove to anyone else back home. So when you come to the UK, you're not coming here to prove to people and say, you know what, guys, I'm now in the UK, everything is just okay. Like I'm living this lifestyle. Like, nah, you have nothing to prove to anyone. I'm telling you guys, you have nothing to prove to anyone. So what I mean by this is sometimes you come to the UK and you start to think, you know what, I need to upgrade my phone. I need to upgrade my clothes. I need to upgrade whatever. I need to upgrade. You look at your life, you want to upgrade everything about your life. But the thing is, maybe you don't need to upgrade your life. But maybe what you need to do is give yourself at least 1 year, right? Within that 1 year, you'll still be using the phone that you came with when you're coming from, let's say, Malawi. You'll still be using the laptop that you came with when you're coming from Malawi. You'll still be using almost even your clothes. You'll still be using the very same clothes that you had when you're in Malawi, unless if maybe you want to buy some winter clothes because it's a little bit cold and everything. Cool. For survival, go ahead. But I'm talking about that upgrading that is more of like you want to prove to people that, you know what, I left Malawi and now things are good with me here. Look at this for you to post on social media. That one is what I'm talking about that you may not want to do. Reason being, it can cost you a lot. Now, you don't want to get yourself into financial trouble in the first 6 months. Now, you rather settle down, or within a year or so, that's when you can start thinking of upgrading things. And you wouldn't want to upgrade everything within the first year. You may want to upgrade as you go, little by little, right? So that's the first mistake. Now, the second mistake that you may want to avoid is to do with financing everything, or maybe instantly getting a credit card. Now, I'll talk about this too. Now, here in the UK, or let me just say in Europe or any other developed countries, they have these facilities of buy now, pay later. Or let's say you can get a phone, you pay the phone within 12 months. You can get a laptop, you pay the laptop in 24 months. You get whatever you can. To be honest, I think you can find everything on financing, right? So, for example, you may not have this in Malawi. You may need to buy a phone on cash in Malawi. You may not finance it, right? So the thing is, you come to the UK, you find out, like, you know what, you can finance it. Maybe you'll be paying £40 for, let's say, 3 years, or for 4 years, or for 2 years. That's something that you don't have back home. You'll be like, you know what, I might as well do this. Now, what normally happens is if you're not careful, you may find yourself financing everything. You may find yourself financing a laptop, financing a phone, financing a car, financing everything. Now, when you're financing everything, what can happen is you may not have money at the end of the month, because let's think about this. You pay the bills, you pay the rentals, the council tax, and everything, and then you also pay everything that you have you're financing. You find yourself not having money at the end of the month. Now, if you are like me, at least you need to have some money at the end of the month, right? Which is, I mean, just you never know what happens. I think I'll talk about this in one of the points as we go on. But now, we still need to have some money at the end of the month. So if you're not careful, you may get yourself into just financing everything. So you may want to consider this. Do I really need a new phone? If you're just new, do I really need a new phone? Do I really need a new laptop? Now, if all these things are still functional that you came with, let's say from Malawi or from Zambia or from wherever, they're still functional, I would say continue using them at least for the first 1 year, or maybe for the first 2 years even, right? If maybe you are a content creator like myself, then maybe you may want to upgrade a phone. If am I trying to justify the reason why I got a phone? But anyway, you get it. So, but for the most part, you may not need to upgrade your life, right? So, that's the second point, the finance side of things. Now, let's talk about the credit card. For example, in Malawi as well, you may not have the credit card facilities. Now, you may come here and you'll be like, you know what, I want to build my credit score. Let me be honest to say, if you're just new here, yes, you want to build your credit score, but maybe you may just want to focus on stabilizing yourself. Be stable in terms of finances, then maybe you can get the credit card, because the credit card, it's more like you're buying on debt, to be honest. So it's more like consumer debt most of the time, which is not really good in terms of finances. But as I said, we hold different views. But yeah, so you may want to consider, do you really need to get a credit card, or maybe you can survive without? For example, myself, I don't have a credit card, but I'm able to survive. I'm still able to build my credit score without a credit card. So it's possible to build your credit score without a credit card, as I am doing myself. So yeah, that's it to do with the second point. Now, the third point, which is important, is to do with, so it's in line with the second one, is to do with subscriptions. So when you come here, you get to realize that you can also subscribe for almost everything. You have to subscribe for, you can subscribe for, let's say, YouTube, you can subscribe for Netflix, you can subscribe for Spotify, you can subscribe for YouTube, anything else, you can subscribe. Now, the question is, ask yourself before you make a decision to say, do I really need to subscribe for this? Right? Now, let me be honest to say, the amount of money that they take in terms of subscriptions, to be honest, they're like £6, £7, £8, £10. For the most part, maybe the highest you can get in these subscriptions is to do with maybe around £20. But for the most part, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you look at this, you'll be like, you know what, what's £6 out of my money, right? But if you look at them collectively, you add £6 here, you add another £7 here, you add £6 there, you find yourself getting maybe 60 or 70 pounds out of your salary. That's a lot of money. Now, what happens with this? Is this. I want you to understand here. To say, let's say you receive £1,500 as your salary, right? Now you tell yourself, oh, the £6 is from £1,500, right? Now you are telling yourself, oh, I will remain with 1,494. That's what you're telling yourself, right? Because you have taken out the £6. But to be honest, you have not taken out the rent, you have not taken out the council tax. What you should do is this: look at your salary and then take out the basic necessities for your survival. Now, that is food, rent, uh, electricity, gas, and council tax. Take out the amounts from that 1,500 and look at the amount that you have left. Let's say you have you have, for all the bills, you have, let's say, 1,200, for example. Now you take the 1,200 from your 1,500. Now what do you have left? You have 300 left. Now you should take the £6 or the £7 or whatever from this £300. That's when it will make sense to say it can be a lot of money if you look at it from that view, instead of just saying, oh, I receive 1,500, I'm taking out £6. No, look at it from that angle, and you may find yourself rethinking whether you should subscribe to everything. Now, I am not saying you shouldn't subscribe to everything, to anything else. You should subscribe to things that you really think are important to yourself. But if you think something is not really important to you, Trust me, you don't need to subscribe, right? Now, that was point number 3. Let's go to point number 4. Now, point number 4 is an important one as well. It's to do with not setting up emergency fund and not investing your money. Now, investment goes in different ways. You can buy stocks, you can buy stocks back home, you can buy stocks here in the UK. You can do everything to do with investment. I mean, we won't touch that now. Maybe we'll get to that later on, not in this video, in another video to do with investments. But now, when you come to the UK, you may find yourself not investing or not even saving up for an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is really important because whenever you have a rainy day someday, because to be honest, life happens, the rainy day will surely come. So I'm not trying to be a soothsayer here, but you know what? Life does happen. So if possible, make sure you do some investments. And if possible, make sure you also have an emergency fund. So many people like to say an emergency fund is something that will sustain you, let's say for 3 to 6 months. Supposing you lose your job or something happens, this money will be there to help you out. So if you can be able to save money that can help you for at least 3 to 6 months, right? So yeah, that's it with point number 4. Now the last point, which is the most important one. I repeat, I wish I did this as soon as I had just arrived in the UK. But you know what? Sometimes this does happen. So the last mistake that you may want to avoid is converting every money that you make here in your local currency, or thinking about the money that you make in the UK in your local currency. Now, for example, Malawian currency is Malawi kwacha. At the moment, I think, I could be wrong, but the bank rate would be £1 for 2,800. I think so, around there. So think about it like this. Let's say you're receiving £1,000 as your salary here, right? You look at this money and you'll be like, okay, it means in Malawi I'm receiving 2,800,000. That's at least fairly huge amount in Malawi to some extent. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, but at least not many people are able to make 2,800,000. Now the thing is, if you make this and you think in Malawi kwacha, what will happen is you will not be spending this money in Malawi kwacha. You'll be spending it in pounds. Now, you know, there's this thing about money power parity. You are spending it here, or to do with the strength of the currency and the like. So the thing is, if I'm thinking about this money that I have in Malawi kwacha, I won't advance, or I won't do anything here, because I'll be like, oh man, I can't spend this on this, or I can't spend this on this. But on the alternative side, also it can be a detriment in this way. I may think I have all the money in the world. I'm like, wow, I'm a millionaire in Malawi. I have like what? I have 2 million. Oh, I have a lot of money. I can just spend it on everything because I'm thinking in Malawi kwacha. So the thing is, get to know that you are getting this money in pounds, but you will also be spending it in pounds. You won't be spending it in Malawi kwacha or in Zambian kwacha or in your local currency. No, you will be spending this money in your own currency. So think about it like this. Get the money here, you're spending it here, right? Don't think about it in Malawi kwacha. So these are the things that I thought I would share with you guys as some of the mistakes that I've done, but then I learned them a little bit later. So I don't want you guys to make this mistake. So this is me, like a big bro, sharing some advice to do with money. As I said, we're not talking about CVs today, but anyway, as I said, we hold different views in terms of money. Likely you have some other thoughts as well to do with the same money thing. I'd like to learn from you guys, like what are some of the things that have helped you out to do with money here in the UK or in Europe or anywhere else where you are. I'd just like to learn from you guys as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.